Wildcats reach independence between 5 and 10 months old, so there's still a bit of learning to do before the family ties are entirely broken. This may look like playfulness, but the young cat is developing its hunting skills, essential for its future survival, though the frog might not appreciate being used as a teaching aid. Now the wildcats have reached the age where they have to leave their mother and begin their search for their own territory. Wildcats are solitary creatures, only meeting once a year for breeding, and each must find their individual hunting grounds. The journey to find these grounds can take them dozens of miles from their birthplace. As this young female makes journey, her tree scratching doesn't simply sharpen her claws. It also leaves scent from her paws, a message to other cats that she is around. She will use this scent, as well as droppings in urine, to mark the boundaries of her own territory. But first, she must find one. Even while she is searching, she must keep herself well fed in this season where food is still plentiful, and can spend up to 9 hours each day hunting for her meals. Her unlucky victim here is a field vole, a tiny morsel of food. Wildcats are pure carnivores and eat almost every part of any kill they make. The coat providing roughage, the bones calcium, and the meat everything else. The vole is lucky this time, as the cat's inexperience shows, and it manages to escape her clutches. The abundance of prey as well as shelter determines where the wildcats make their home. Each creature's territory can cover several square miles, and they will know every single inch. It's now late summer, and the female is molting. She will shed her fur twice a year, once in spring into her summer coat, then again in autumn back into her winter coat. True wildcats are always brown and black striped. Any variation in their appearance is caused by hybridization, often with domestic cats gone feral. Her new, thicker coat is enough to overheat her on a hot summer day. Others seem to have the right idea. Wildcats, like many other species of cat, are as much at home in trees as they are on the ground. It's also a good place from which to spot intruders. And wandering into another cat's territory inevitably has a reaction. But what that reaction is depends on the sex of those involved. Here, an older female defends her territory from the younger cat. Good territories are hard to come by and must be protected. Flattened ears, raised hackles, and hissing are all signs that both are prepared to fight. These threats are enough to deter the young cat. She could have suffered serious injury. so she moves off to continue her search elsewhere. It's now August on the heather-covered moors, but the days are already growing shorter, heralding the oncoming seasons. The red grouse chicks are now mature and have changed their diet from the early insects and leaves to heather. Feeding is a race against time. In the depths of winter, when the landscape is under a blanket of snow, the wildcat often remains underground in the relative warmth of her den. But despite the cold conditions, she needs to eat and has to venture out into the snow to try to find some sustenance. This hare hasn't been lucky, but its loss will stave off the wildcat's hunger a little while longer. Having eaten, she turns her attention to another pressing concern: mating. Female wildcats are only in heat for about a week, so they must attract their mate quickly. She does this by calling with a strange caterwauling noise, which is thought to have given rise to some of the ancient Highland legends of screaming banshees. Her calls are heard by the resident male. His territory overlaps those of several females, and he will probably mate with all of them this winter. But these meetings are brief before the cats return to their solitary existence. After 2 months gestation, the female has given birth to her first litter, an average size of 4 kittens. Wildcats only have 1 litter a year, unless they lose one entirely. Then they can sometimes have a second. Survival for these kittens is by no means certain. In their first year, half of all kittens will die. Up to 92% of all wildcat deaths are caused by human interference, such as snares, roads, or gunshot. In the wild, they will survive for an average 6 to 8 years. Wildcats in captivity can survive for up to 15 years, but they are the only animal that cannot be tamed by humans, even if they have been bred in captivity. Outside the kitten's cozy den, the snow is starting to melt as winter gives way to spring once again.